Alrighty, welcome back to today's Sad Reality. We're playing Zombies at 1 p.m. I forgot to record last night, and by forgot to record, I mean I was super tired. And I was not trying to mess around with OBS any more than I already had to just to get this game to work. 'Cause I think this game came out like 2020 or something, forever ago it feels like. I mean they stopped posting stuff on Steam as of 2022, so it's a game that's been dead for a while, and obviously it's not in the best resolution. But that's fine, neither is my life, so... we're still here, we're making stuff work, and oh my gosh, I'm already seeing all sorts of screen tearing or whatever at the bottom. But I'm gonna still do my best despite all of that, and hopefully the audio is not abysmal either. But so, yesterday I was working, right, and I was like, man, I feel like a complete zombie. Wow, what a clever game to play for that. But I got there and I was just like, I don't really feel like me. I don't know if that ever happens to y'all. But the big thing for me was, if you ever feel like your eyes are kind of glazed over or whatever, you're just not in like the right headspace, whatever. I just didn't feel normal, I guess. That's fine, I mean, I suppose it happens every now and then, but, I guess kind of the goal is for that not to happen, right? So, I don't know, I didn't feel like I was going to perform well, whatever. And eventually I got over it. I think it was a little just I hadn't really eaten too much yesterday, and that kind of helped a little bit, and obviously talking with people. But there's definitely, like, a way to get out of that, and for me it's always been, like, either talking with people, finding something that I can engage with, just, like, turning my brain on, basically. And there's a bunch of ways to kind of fix that. But what I'm going to talk about is kind of the more interesting, or to me what's more interesting is why we feel that way, or what causes that to happen, or more specifically, like, as a society, whatever. Durability, carnage, resourcefulness. I'm no for carnage, because I like damage. But so, it's kind of tricky to... So I hope I have unlimited ammo. I don't know if I have unlimited ammo or not. I really haven't been paying that much attention. Day 2. Everybody loves diver. Oh my gosh, that is a lot that just spawned. Okay. Well, it's a good thing I'm faster movement speed than they do. The reason I want to talk about how we kind of get into that is I feel like in school, for example, I saw that a lot where people just weren't really engaged. More like high school, middle school, college, I feel like, I mean, you're choosing to be here, so you kind of have to be engaged, you know, but certainly there are professors that made it hard to engage with, find some sort of meaningful conversational topic, and that's fine, it's not perfect, you know, that's life, I suppose. But why is it that happens, you know? And for me, I think it boils down to, like, monotony, the same things kind of happening day after day, and we just expect it to be the same as it always has been. Which isn't really an excuse to let it persist that way. But, the reason I was really thinking about this was I had a few customers yesterday that they were on their phone the entire time, didn't look up at me once, didn't engage with anything I was saying. I was like, hey, hope your day's been going well, you know, nice weather we're having, it's finally not raining for once, even though it looks like it's about to rain, and it's not super muggy or whatever, you know. But just so few people would engage with that. I'm like, do they even know I'm here? Like, am I like a real, like, a breathing, sentient, like, person to them? Also, how do I use grenades? Is it G for grenades? Q? Q is to switch weapons, I think. I don't know. I'm not paying half attention to this game. That's as per usual for this channel. Nothing different, I suppose. But, it feels like a lot of people just kind of have their brains shut off, I guess, or they just don't really care enough to have it turned on, or they'd rather be on the phone doing other things. And I get it. I'm a cashier. I'm not the most important person in their life. But, when you think about people that become really dissociative, I think a lot of times it's because the people that are around are probably not really engaging with them or something like that, you know? Again, it's not like everyone needs to be engaged all the time, but it feels like there are so many people that are that way, it kind of makes you ask, well, why? And kind of just slippery slope thinking here, right? Trying to find a solution for everything, even though that solution may not be perfect. What I'm going to speculate is, sometimes it's the jobs we work, or just the life we live, or kind of the monotony of it all, you know? I feel like a lot of people, they're like, yep, my 9 to 5 today, gonna go do that. A lot of people have a subpar performance at work, so they don't really care too much, they're just there to make money, keep their day going, and that's it. You know, that's all life will ever be. And people do that for 10, 20 years, and it's really hard to blame them for being that way, you know? And I guess for me, the hope is I never become that way. I mean, I look at, like, people like that, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. But I also look at people at the top end of the spectrum, like Beast, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, the other people out there, the celebrities, and I'm like, I want to keep my soul, preferably. I don't ever want to be so desensitized to life being cool that nothing ever seems cool again, I guess. And ironically, I feel like that's the path I've kind of been headed for a while. Just because I feel like you see things once, and like, well, it's gonna kind of be the same for a while, you know? Also, I hope the sound effects in this game aren't too annoying. I realize just how many sound effects are going on in the background. It's kind of hard for me to focus, but we're actually pulling through today. I'm kind of happy with this. You ever think that we build the zombies, though? Like at schools, or, you know, stores, jobs, whatever. Like, we expect people to get in, get out, not really engage too much. Just, it's all for the new guns, yo! Oh, okay, this is about to be much more fun now. I've always been a fan of SMGs in just about any game. The only issue is often ammo. But, a lot of damage. What else we got? Okay, and also I just learned you can hold down, so that makes life a little easier, I suppose. Also, it's kind of funny. I feel like a lot of games I click expecting to always need to click, but it's funny because you get into these patterns and you're just like, oh, it has to be this way, that you never consider an alternative. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. In Pressure, I didn't realize you could use the numpad until I just tried it. I was like, I mean, the thing on the, like, for when you're entering a password to one of the doors, it's obviously 0 through 9, so I'm like, what if I use the numpad, or what if I use, like, the keys on the keyboard, whatever, it's not the numpad, but just the number keys. And it worked, and I was like, oh, hey, this is actually much faster than clicking the numbers, because nobody likes using the screen typing. That's as far as I know. Maybe there's one person out there. Sorry if that's you. But, just kind of the patterns of it, and, something I said for a while, too, is, like, breaking out of cycles, or, like, finding something new in life that means something, or making something different, something that never was, that, you know, all of a sudden can be if you just try hard enough to make it a reality, you know? And, I was talking with a coworker, yesterday. It's actually a really good friend of mine, and by friend, I mean, like, I feel like we both understand something that other people don't, if that makes sense, and that's kind of what I've been talking about, the monotony of all this, but he wants to do entrepreneuring stuff, which I think's really, really, really cool. And a big part of that is making sure you have the right team for it, the right people. And I was talking to them and I was like, hey, does it not terrify you that this generation, it seems like we really don't understand what it's like to work hard, work well, and get things done, you know, having a work ethic, not being lazy and all that. And it's like, dude, yeah, we both definitely kind of agree on that. And, we kind of see the same thing too, you know? It's not like everyone can be special, but I often wonder if there's a difference between people who have the eyes to see and another that have, like, the arms to do the things to fix what we see being wrong in the world, or stuff like that. But say you want to own your own, like, painting company, or your own restaurant, your own bakery, whatever it is. You don't want to have a bunch of zombies working for you, you know? You want people that you can interact with that are genuine, you want people that get things done, you want people you can rely on. Consistency being key, but then that only being second to, I guess, skill, dedication, determination, whatever it is to actually kind of make the clock keep ticking, you know, the battery of it, I suppose. So. It's a difficult task, especially, like, I can only imagine being the leader of people, much less people that are just like, man, I wish we could do a little bit better, you know? I'm thinking of the Bible right now, funny enough. I think there was a point, and now I've read very little of the Bible, so please excuse my heresy here, I guess. But I think there was a part where God was like, you know, the Israelites are great and all, but Moses, what if we just, like, ditch them and start over? And Moses was like, you know, what if we stuck to that plan and we kept things going and, like, saw it through, even though stuff isn't great? And I was like, okay, fine, sure. And being a leader of a good team would honestly be such a blessing. You know, people that are great or good. I think being a leader of anyone, I think that requires a certain calling. But beyond that, these sound effects kind of drive me crazy. I hope people find the right team that they're looking for so that people aren't feeling like zombies, and I hope the right leaders come about that are able to lead people to a good place, you know, whether it be in life or whatever the prospect may be. So I think with all that said, I've been really happy with how today's video went, recording at 1 p.m. I'm probably going to record another thing after this because I'm a little bit behind as I was yesterday. I'm probably do another twofer. Although yesterday was supposed to be 3, or sorry, 2 days ago it was supposed to be 3, I just didn't get around to it because I asked a friend if he wanted to play Gunfire Reborn with me and like record with me and all that. I didn't mention the recording part though. And then he got back to me like way after I was done with it, and I was like, oh, fine, I guess we'll play, and I got sucked into that. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around for Sad Reality. I will see you in tomorrow's Sad Reality, and with that, have a good one, y'all.